Hello, welcome to May with AgAuCu. I'm your host, Enna. I don't know, I'm just trying it out.
I don't know if I can find my way out.
We're starting off with my manicure of Butter London's Rosie Lee in my star projector because it looks incredible.
I'm stuck in a prison of doubt.
Alright, I'm picking up what I had started in my Patreon, my March-April 2026 Patreon. I'm gonna sneeze. And hopefully I'll have inserted clips here so you know what I'm talking about. I made these in April, and then I talked about using these to make a pair of earrings, which I'm still gonna do, and then I started making this bracelet. I'm gonna make these sort of a set. These are all for Aphrodite for my It Follows Agrius collection. Here's the plan so far. This is with the same hot pink agate and the Amazonite. This is Amazonite. And I find rarely do bracelets work out the way I want them to in the planning stage, but here's the planning stage, and I'm going to start trying to make it and see what happens. These little beetles. Oh my gosh. Hello? Okay, you can kind of see these little beetles are the infestation of the year. We have something different every year, and it's these guys this year. They're on everything. To begin, I'm deciding if I want the agate to just be on the head pin or if I want heishi with the agate.
In this torsion, and everything is growing up tight. There's no room to breathe.
I am trying having heishi on both sides of the agate first. Heishi. That'll come up later in the video. Heishi, not heishi, heishi. I think that having the heishi on both sides of the agate looks a little too fancy, so I decide to go with just one on the bottom of the pin.
And nobody is watching at night. The water rises.
These are the wrong heishis. They're on the upper right of the screen right now. I will find them.
To shake me out again.
Now that I have all of the agates and heishis on pins, it's time to loop the wires so that I can attach them to the chain.
To shake me out again. I don't know if I can find my way out. In this torsion, and everything is growing up tight. There's no room.
Okay. Got the first layer of agate on. Whatever. Looking like that. I rearranged some of it so that the wider beads are more symmetrical. I think I'm going to go ahead and close all of these pins. I feel confident enough to do that, and then I think before I do the Amazonite, I'm going to add some smaller pink agate, if I have enough. If I figure out a way to use these, that's enough.
Fall into the ocean.
You're not going to believe this after all of the desk cleaning I did in April, but I have misplaced my compression gloves, and so I'm doing this barehanded. Yay! As I'm doing this, I'm going bead by bead, and I'm making sure that they're all facing the direction that I want them to face. In this case, because it's a bracelet, I'm just having them all face the same direction. Not the beads, let me be clear. What I mean is the pins, the loops. Just show you with the closed ones. Okay, so you can see on here you've got the bend on the, I'm going to say it's facing towards the clasp. Okay, it's not like facing forward or something, it's facing towards the clasp. And I'm making sure that every single bead has the bend towards the clasp, and then the wraparound wire is away from the clasp. So I'm checking that on every single bead as I go. That kind of detail is the sort of thing that I think is really important for a professional finish. I'm all for handmade, obviously, but I also think it's important to pay attention to the details. I'm sorry if my audio is to the left right now, I'll try to fix it. But you know, uniformity, I think, is a boon. I have to do this in front of my face.
I'm reaching out, I'm reaching out. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. It's coming. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching out. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. I'm reaching. It's coming. I'm reaching. The water is rising over me. I'm reaching out. I'm reaching. The water is rising. It's coming in. The water is rising over.
Alright, I'm starting, or mostly done attaching the Amazonite. I'm trying to do it in a flip pattern of dark and light ones. So like dark is on the right, light's on the left. This is twisted. Not good to show you. Okay, there. It's like they're alternating all the way up, but it's really not that big of a deal because there's really not many with a high contrast. That's what I'm doing. Almost done. Not really. Alright, I finished this last night. I think it's so much fun and so pretty. I added a little taper of beads to finish it. So I added some crystal beads in very light pink to go with all the pale pink, and that are an in-between size to fade the bracelet out. I don't have a voice today, I guess. There you go, there's those two together. Here's where these earrings are at right now. I'm gonna make 2, 4, 6 more pins. I'm gonna have to design the outer ones, and then I have to figure out what to do for the loops on the earrings that are in between the pins. These are once again inspired by Aphrodite, the pinky minty colorway. And I've got rhodonite. I think this is also rhodonite. This is malachite. Sorry, rhodochrosite, rhodonite, malachite, jasper of some sort, rose quartz, and turquoise. That's where I'm at so far. It was one of the most incomprehensible clips I've ever filmed. Boy, I hope editing me figures that one out. Okay, let's try talking about this again. I'm working on these earrings. The original plan for these 2 pendants for earrings was to make a pair of earrings similar to the Patreon necklace. But then I decided that I would instead make a pair of earrings inspired by Aphrodite from my I'd Follow Zagreus collection. Aphrodite is primarily pink, and then she has a lot of mint accents and a little bit of yellow and gold. Metal color doesn't really matter to me in this collection, so silver, whatever. I am trying to make the outermost pins right now. Nope. Let me start a little further back. I'm trying to make these very fun in the details, so there's a ton of different bead caps, or what I've learned to pronounce hishis, not hishis. I thought it was a Japanese word. It's not. I think it's African of some sort. I've already forgotten. I looked it up. I'll pop it up on the screen. Anyway, I've done floral and leaves, bubble shaped ones, and they're beaded shape, but whatever. A bunch of different stones. I'm trying to do this all on stones. Ignore the opalite there. That was on the floor and I found it, and now it can't escape again. So I'm trying to work on these outermost pins, and I want them to start with green at the bottom. But I want the green to be smaller than this green, preferably smaller than these pink ones, but bigger than these pink ones. And I don't have anything in stone that fits that in the right color. And I thought, well, you know, I could start it with some chips, some Amazonite chips. These 4 pieces right here are the darkest pieces. They're the only pieces that don't stand out sharply. Oh, and the malachite. I've got malachite already in the earrings. Hello? I don't have anything suitable. I went through every single piece. None of it's suitable for what I want for these pins. These pins specifically. Okay. So I was like, well, maybe Amazonite will do it because these go well with this jasper. Don't quote me that these are jasper. I'm pretty sure they are, but it's written in their bag. Anyway, I went through all of these Amazonite chips. I went through all of these Amazonite chips, and no, none of them are right. I also went through all of my pink beads to see, like, well, I could just start it with pink again. That would be fine. And also knead it up with the colors again. And I mean, these might work. These are cherry quartz, which is a synthetic stone. It's glass. And I don't know if it's originally made with quartz, like melted down quartz, or if it's made with glass from the get-go, but it's man-made. That would be okay, and the color is nice. I don't know. I'm not pleased with them. I already tried them for other pins on the earrings and wasn't thrilled. I'm sorry if my chair is squeaking a lot. I'm shifting around a lot. The issue with these is that they are very disparate shapes and sizes. I'm sure you can see, like, that one's much smaller than that one, and they're all sort of like that, and none of the rest are dark enough, and they really stand out. I tried putting on, you know, the next level of dark, and they really stick out when they're paired up with the rest of the stones. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm almost done, but I'm also at a stall. This is where a lot of my projects go to die at this point. This is when I put them in a bag and I shove them into a box and I don't look at them for another year, because this is such a frustrating part of the creative process for me. I also have these Amazonites, but they're also dealing with being too light. And these are too blue, whatever this is. I know what that is, I just can't think of it right now. I have so much stuff in the minty colorway. I just don't have, come on, get back in. I just don't have anything that's like exactly right. And I'm also trying to go for more of a green mint than a blue mint. They're so cute, but not right. So I don't know. I should probably just look at my glass and see if I have something that will work. I very much wanted it to be all gemstone. And here's why. There are a lot of people who want gemstone only. They don't want glass. And they certainly don't want plastic, even if it's second-use plastic or third-use plastic or whatever. Now, I'm sure you could tell I have my own thoughts on that, but I also have a bunch of gemstones, and so there is no real issue with me using gemstones. I love gemstones. Who doesn't love gemstones? The environment and human rights. So that's a whole other topic. I wish I felt like I could use more of these up here, but they're just too big. Are they? Maybe I should try it. I haven't actually tried it. Okay, do you see what I mean? That's too big. That right there, that's too big for being on the outside of these earrings. Dang. Don't get too excited. But I think I've decided that apatite could work. I kept dismissing it because it's very blue in comparison to malachite and this jasper and turquoise. But I think if I pull the most green-leaning pieces, if I have 4 of them, this will work and I'll be happy with it. So I'm going to do the other 3 pins, and I'll come back, and we'll see if I'm happy with it. And then I still have to decide what to do with the loops in between the pins, and not pull this mat around like that. This is strawberry quartz, which is a real quartz unlike the cherry quartz. But I just wanted to show you, like, look how teeny tiny. They practically don't exist. They're so small. Okay, that looks really good, I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach these, and then it's me that's gonna be responsible for figuring out what to put in between them. I misremembered when I said that these tiny beads are strawberry quartz. The holes in the strawberry quartz are too small, so I used tourmaline, and I'm using slightly larger tourmaline to go in between, and I'm gonna do that now and hope that it actually works when hanging. I broke a second one. I'm gonna figure something else out. Okay, so what I was going to do before 2 of them broke, so I was going to have 2 darker ones on the outsides, like right here, here, okay, and then 2 lighter ones here and here to be the opposite of these, which are darkest to lightest, moving outwards. I thought that would be a fun contrast, but I'm not messing around with those anymore. So I have instead, you can't even see them, I have these little silver drop charms, and I've used those, and I think they go really well, and I'm happy with that. The reason they keep breaking, so you can see on these pins I've left a little gap. This isn't something I usually do, but I do it when I know I'm working with small gems where the wrap is going to be, because I know that they will shatter if they have the least bit of pressure. So I was trying to do that with the tourmaline to go in between, but twice was enough for me to figure I'm not gonna get it. So moving on, little ball charms, and I will choose some hooks tomorrow. These took me all day, by the way, to match all of the gems up. I mean, I had already done quite a lot of them, but to match all of the gems that I hadn't matched yesterday, and to make these took me all day. I do not charge for that work, because if I did, boy would they be expensive.
Bring me into golden sunlight.
I finished these. I gave them the same hooks as the other Aphrodite earrings. Just think those go well.
Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a crazy love moving through me.
Spent all day yesterday pricing jewelry, so I priced this. I priced both of these. I priced these. Oh. I priced these. I not only discovered the half-finished Patreon earrings that I ended up cleaning both of my desks trying to find, in the process of trying to find those pieces. That's not really a not only sentence structure anyway. I also found the second one of these. These are from Bliss Bloom Studio, and I've had one of them in my box to swap the hooks out because I can't wear copper hooks. And I haven't done it because I had no idea where the second earring was. Whoa, there's a dog fur. But I found it, so I'm going to replace the hook. And then instead of continuing working on the opalite collection, which is what I was supposed to do, it was like 7 p.m. by the time I was done pricing everything, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something for fun. So I started a set pair of earrings and a necklace for Achilles and Patroclus for I'd Follow Zagreus collection. I also found I have 2 more pieces of aventurine that match well enough to make earrings, so I've just like set those aside I have plenty of pieces left, but those two are the only ones that match. So I'm like, well, they have to be earrings now. Okay, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is replace the earring hooks, put these away. No, first, yeah, I'm going to put these away. Place the earring hooks on my own earrings. It's too dark right now to photograph for Patreon, but I think I'll set it up so it's ready when there's enough sunlight, and then I'll work on these. I'm working on the findings for these, so the hooks and the chain. I've already rejected several pairs of hooks, but I think these ones are going to work. I'm having to form them to be big enough to fit. Okay, I have the necklace mostly done. Or theoretically totally done. I've gotten it to hang in a nice way. And it's near choker length, but it of course has an extender. So I'm happy with that. Oh, and this. Ugh. The golds are different. The necklace is made with, like, this is satin Hamilton gold plated, and this is, I don't know, some sort of gold plating. This is also the satin Hamilton gold. The satin Hamilton gold has a tendency to strip. Plating has a tendency to strip, so I try not to use it on things that will make contact with the skin. So for the clasp, I've used higher, I don't know if it's higher quality, but it's just less likely to strip. The satin gold is expensive, so I assume it's good quality. It's just not really suited for touching skin. I am still working on how to put hooks on the earrings. Nothing I have tried has made me happy. Like, I made these. First of all, I polished them because they were tarnished, and now they're more of a rosy hue. I can't really tell, but just trust me, they are. Here's ones that I tried to polish before them, and they're even more, like, they're rose gold. Yeah, like, there you go, up against my rose gold ring, they look rose gold. So, that's not working. I don't know, I just need to figure out something. I can't make the hooks with this wire, it's way too thick, and I don't think any of my gold wire otherwise is the same tone. So I think I have to accept that it's going to be a different tone for the hooks. But the hardest part is getting them to sit straight because I've used the chain link, which is twisted. So getting a hook to sit straight means having to twist the part of the hook that attaches to the earrings, and I need that to look nice. That was the problem with these. It looks really funny. Like, kind of ridiculous to have those twisted to make the earrings sit straight. So I thought maybe, you know, I would just use the ones I had polished, but they're so rosy now, I can't justify, where did they go? I can't justify using them. Like, I can't, not justify, but like, I don't feel right using them, and they're very rosy compared to the gold. This is a very pale gold compared to gold too, so, I mean, you can see that with the necklace, right? Alright, I figured out the hooks. I used wire wrapped around the chain so that they will no longer freely swivel and mostly swivel sideways. I also added some patina paint. This is like faux patina to the in-between links, and I have been going through and texturing them with the channeled pliers. I want them to be like kind of beat up. And then I need to do the same thing to the necklace links, and that set will be done.
Golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire.
This is a pair of earrings I made inspired by Patroclus. It took a lot of work to figure out how to get these to sit the way I wanted them to. And there's that set finished. And this is the end of my May vlog. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe if you wanna. Bye!